Let's be honest, most of us have a tech graveyard somewhere at home. You know the place, tangled cables, dusty parts, and abandoned projects that seemed like a good idea at the time. Maybe it's a drawer, a closet, or even an entire room that's become a monument to half-finished builds and forgotten gadgets. It's easy to let things pile up, especially when you're passionate about technology and always chasing the next big idea. Maybe you tried to set up a workspace, but it quickly turned into a spaghetti monster of wires and clutter. You start with the best intentions, organizing your tools, setting up your monitor, maybe even labeling a few cables, but before you know it, chargers, adapters, and random components take over every inch of your desk. It's overwhelming, and it's hard to know where to even begin. That chaos kills motivation and makes learning cybersecurity feel impossible. When your environment is a mess, your mind feels cluttered too. It's tough to focus on learning new skills or experimenting with hacking tools when you can't even find your mouse under a pile of cables. The frustration builds, and sometimes it's enough to make you want to give up before you've even started. But what if you could turn that mess into a clean, efficient hacking lab, for less than the price of a new video game, and in about the time it takes to eat a pizza? Imagine transforming your chaotic workspace into a place where everything has its purpose, where you can sit down and immediately get to work. It doesn't have to be expensive or time-consuming. With a few smart choices and a little effort, you can create a space that inspires creativity and productivity. Forget the myth that you need thousands for a pro setup. The truth is, you don't need racks of servers or the latest high-end gear to get started. There are plenty of affordable options out there, refurbished laptops, single-board computers, and open-source tools that can help you build a powerful lab without breaking the bank. It's all about making smart decisions and focusing on what you really need. Today, we'll show you how to build a compact, powerful, distraction-free lab on a shoestring budget. We'll walk you through the essentials, what to buy, what to skip, and how to organize your space for maximum efficiency. Whether you have a dedicated room or just a corner of your bedroom, you can create a setup that works for you. We'll cover everything from choosing the right hardware to keeping your workspace tidy and safe. This isn't just about tidying up, it's about creating a focused environment to learn and experiment safely. A well-organized lab helps you stay on track, reduces distractions, and makes it easier to troubleshoot when things go wrong. Plus, it's a lot more fun to work in a space that feels inviting and under control. You'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish when your environment supports your goals. Ready to ditch the chaos? Let's build a fully functional hacking lab step by step and launch your journey into cybersecurity. Whether you're a total beginner or looking to level up your skills, this guide will help you create a space where you can learn, experiment, and grow. So grab your gear, clear off your desk, and let's get started on building the ultimate home hacking lab together. What hardware do you actually need? Surprisingly little. The star, a Raspberry Pi 4 with at least 4 GB RAM, small, silent, and powerful enough to run pro tools. Next, a cheap used laptop. Any old ThinkPad or Dell with a dual-core CPU and 4 GB RAM will do. Its only job: run a vulnerable virtual machine for you to practice on. Add a 32 GB microSD card for the PI, a 32 GB USB drive for installations, and an Ethernet cable to connect the two. No server racks, no fancy lights, just the essentials. This minimalist setup keeps costs low and learning high. Raspberry Pi, old laptop, microSD, USB drive, Ethernet cable, that's your entire list. Simple, affordable, and perfect for launching your cybersecurity journey. Let's get this dream team together. How do you get all this gear without breaking the bank? It might seem overwhelming at first, especially when you see the prices of brand new tech, but with a little strategy and some patience, you can build your setup for a fraction of the cost. The key is knowing where to look, what to avoid, and how to spot a real bargain. For the Raspberry Pi, start by checking official resellers for the latest models and warranty support. But don't stop there. Explore eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Gumtree for second-hand options. Many people buy PIs for projects that never get finished, so you'll often find bundles with extra accessories at a steep discount. Look for listings that include power supplies, cases, or even pre-installed SD cards, as these extras can save you even more money. When it comes to laptops, ex-lease or refurbished business models are your best bet. These machines were built to last and often come from offices upgrading their fleets. Check with local computer recyclers who sometimes offer short warranties or return policies. Don't overlook charity shops or local classifieds. Sometimes you'll stumble upon a hidden gem that just needs a little cleaning or a new battery. Believe it or not, you can often score a solid working laptop for just £20, £40. These might not be the latest models, but they're perfect for learning, tinkering, or running lightweight projects. If you're willing to do a bit of basic maintenance like adding RAM or swapping in an SSD, you can breathe new life into an older machine for next to nothing. For storage, stick to reputable brands like SanDisk, Samsung, or Kingston when buying microSD cards and USB drives. These brands are known for reliability, which is crucial when you're storing important files or running operating systems. Watch for sales, clearance events, or even open box deals at electronic stores and online retailers. Sometimes you can find high-capacity cards and drives at a fraction of their usual price if you're patient and keep an eye out. Avoid no-name brands even if the price is tempting. Cheap generic storage devices are more likely to fail, and the last thing you want is to lose your work to a faulty drive. Always check reviews and if possible, buy from a seller with a good reputation. With some patience and a bit of bargain hunting, you'll easily stay under £100 for everything you need. Don't be afraid to negotiate on price, especially for bundles or when buying in person. Sometimes sellers are just happy to see their old gear go to someone who will actually use it. The thrill of the hunt is part of the fun. There's something deeply satisfying about rescuing forgotten tech, cleaning it up, and giving it a second life. Not only are you saving money, but you're also helping reduce electronic waste and making the most of what's already out there. This kind of resourcefulness is a skill you'll use again and again in tech. Whether you're troubleshooting, upgrading, or building something new, knowing how to find and repurpose gear is invaluable. Plus, you'll build confidence and learn more about how things work along the way. So gather your gear and get ready, because next we'll bring your lab to life and start exploring what you can create with your new setup. It's time to bring your hardware to life by installing the perfect operating system for hacking and cybersecurity exploration. Whether you're using a Raspberry Pi or a laptop, the right software is the foundation of your DIY hacking lab. Let's walk through the process step by step, so you can get started with confidence, even if you've never installed an OS before. For the Raspberry Pi, we'll be installing Kali Linux. This is a professional-grade, security-focused operating system that's trusted by ethical hackers and penetration testers around the world. Kali is packed with hundreds of pre-installed tools for network analysis, vulnerability scanning, password cracking, and more. The best part, it's optimized to run smoothly on the Pi's hardware, so you get a powerful hacking platform in a tiny, affordable package. To get started, download the official Kali Linux image for Raspberry Pi from the Kali website. Then, open up the Raspberry Pi Imager software on your computer. Select the Kali image you just downloaded, insert your microSD card, and write the image to the card. This process only takes a few minutes, and the Imager makes it simple, even for beginners. Once it's done, safely eject the microSD card. If you're using a laptop, you'll want a lightweight Linux distribution that runs fast and leaves plenty of resources for your hacking tools. Lubuntu and Xubuntu are both excellent choices. They're easy to use, have a familiar desktop interface, and work well on older or less powerful hardware. To install, first download the ISO file for your chosen distro. Next, you'll need to create a bootable USB drive. Use a tool like Balena Etcher or Rufus, both are free and user-friendly. Open the software, select your downloaded ISO, choose your USB drive, and start the flashing process. Once it's finished, you'll have a USB stick ready to install Linux on your laptop. Plug it in, reboot your laptop, and boot from the USB drive to begin the installation. With your microSD card inserted, power on the Raspberry Pi. You'll see the Kali Linux boot screen, followed by the login prompt. Log in with the default credentials, and you're greeted by the Kali desktop, your new command center for ethical hacking. On your laptop, follow the on-screen instructions to install Lubuntu or Xubuntu. The installer will guide you through partitioning your drive, setting up your user account, and configuring basic settings. It's mostly just clicking next and filling in a few details. In about 15 to 20 minutes, your laptop will be running a fresh, clean Linux environment. In just a handful of steps, you've transformed your hardware into a powerful hacking lab. Both your Raspberry Pi and your laptop are now running specialized Linux systems, ready for you to explore, experiment, and learn. Don't worry if you're new to this. Modern Linux installers are designed to be user-friendly. Just follow the prompts, and if you get stuck, there's a huge community and tons of guides online to help you out. No complicated command lines required for this part. With your operating systems installed, you're ready to move on to the next phase, setting up your virtual playground. This is where you'll create safe, isolated environments to practice your skills and run hacking simulations without risking your main devices or network. Congratulations! You've just completed one of the most important steps in building your hacking lab. The real fun and learning begins now, as you dive into the world of ethical hacking with your new setup. With Kali on your Pi and Lubuntu on your laptop, it's time to create your target. Instead of attacking the laptop's main OS, we'll use VirtualBox to run a vulnerable virtual machine inside it. VirtualBox is free, open source, and easy to install on Lubuntu. Download Metasploitable 2, a purposely vulnerable VM, from Rapid7's official site. Extract the files and import the file into VirtualBox. This gives you a safe, isolated sandbox to practice hacking. No risk to your real system. If you mess up, just reset the VM and try again. Before launching, we'll tweak one network setting, coming up next. You now have an attacker machine and a vulnerable target, ready for action. Your virtual playground is set. Let's make sure it's safe. Safety first. Never connect your vulnerable lab to your home network or the internet. Use a single Ethernet cable to directly link your Raspberry Pi and laptop, creating a private, isolated network. No routers, no outside access, just your two devices talking to each other. Assign static IPs, for example Pi at 192.168.100.1, laptop at 192.168.1002 in VirtualBox. Set Metasploitable 2's network adapter to bridged adapter, and select the laptop's Ethernet port. Now the VM gets its own IP on your isolated network. The Pi can talk to the VM, but nothing can reach your home network. This air-gapped setup keeps your experiments safe and contained. Practice hacking with total peace of mind. Responsible isolation is the foundation of every pro's lab. Now let's launch your first exploit. Here's where the magic happens. Ready for your first hack? Let's use Metasploit on Kaylee to exploit Metasploitable 2. First, scan your isolated network with Nmap to find the VM's IP. Launch Metasploit with, search for the VSF TPD exploit. Select it. Set the target IP. Type and watch Metasploit open a remote shell. You now control the target VM. Try commands like or. This workflow, recon exploit access, is the core of penetration testing. You've just completed your first real hack safely and legally. This is the first step of many. Let's talk about leveling up. You've built your lab and pulled off your first exploit. Now what? This setup is just the beginning. As your skills grow, so can your lab. Add more VMs. Try Windows 10, web servers, or apps like DVWA for web hacking. Experiment with network monitoring or Wi-Fi security using your Pi. Build a Raspberry Pi cluster for distributed computing or container security. Each edition brings new challenges and learning opportunities. The best labs evolve with you. Expand as you're ready. Use your lab as a personal dojo, try new tools, replicate real-world attacks, and never stop experimenting. Your 100 pounds lab is a gateway to endless learning. Keep pushing your limits. Ready to build? Here's your weekend launch checklist. Friday, hunt for a Raspberry Pi 4, a cheap laptop, 32 GB microSD USB drive, and Ethernet cable. Stay under 100 pounds. Saturday, download Kali, Lubuntu, and VirtualBox. Flash the images, install the OCs, and set up your hardware. Install Metasploitable 2 in VirtualBox on the laptop. Connect Pi and laptop with Ethernet, assign static IPs, and configure the VM's network. Boot everything up, launch Metasploit, and run your first exploit. Celebrate. Your lab is live and you're officially hands-on in cybersecurity. Download the checklist from the description, clear your weekend, and get building. No more excuses. The barrier to entry is gone. Go create something awesome.